Yeah. So, very good afternoon to everyone. Let me know, am I audible? And my screen is visible to everyone? You can drop in the chat. Hope I'm audible. Is my screen visible to everyone? Okay, thank you. Thank you all for joining. Okay, thank you. So, I really appreciate that you are thinking about enhancing your career at the time of lockdown. So, let us discuss something about data science and how it is applied in real-time industry. What are the benefits? What are the career paths? In fact, everything, right? What we are going to do through this training program. So, myself, Deepti, I am an associate consultant as a data scientist with InnoDataTix, and we are also involved with 360 Degree TMG and InnoDataTix, right? It is a training and consulting institute, and we have got 9 years of rich experience in training and consulting. We are catered to all the latest technologies, but 360 is predominantly catered into consulting as well. So InnoDataTix is a US-based consulting firm. As a part of InnoDataTix, we are catered to analytic-based solutions and anything that has to be done with latest technologies. So we have actually what happens is that 70% of the time was in consulting and 30% of the time we are into this training purpose. So we bring our rich experience, whatever we have gained as a part of our consulting, so all are involved into this training. This is how we differentiate ourselves from other training institutes. So to begin with, what research you have done, right, for this particular, when you have thought of learning about this data science? Have you done some research? What is data science all about? Yeah. See, okay. What we'll do is, let us understand first how this concept of data science, artificial intelligence, or IoT, they're involved in real-time projects, right? Real-time scenario. So what did we do is, recent days, we have done a project. So the project was based, it was a project for Coca-Cola. It's yet to complete because of lockdown, it got hanged up. And what did we do is, we used different types of sensors, right? We used vibration sensor, Scheller sensors, sound sensors. So what these sensors will do? These sensors will collect the data, right? They collect the data. So when I say they collect data, you have sensors which are collecting the data. So these are, you can use n number of sensors for a machine. They are collecting data, all types, all the sensors are giving different types of data here, right? This collected data is passed to SCADA, right? So what it is like, you are storing somewhere, right? Some storage place, if I can say. So there is a system where you are storing your data. So whenever or whatever the information is there with respect to a sensor, it is stored here, right? So even before suppose all the components of the machine are there, right? So those components which are sensors are there, they try to sense about the machine's condition, oil condition of the machine, bearings, right? All these things are checked. So whenever the machine fails, even before the machine fails, it has to send a message or an alert to the technician, right? Even before the machine fails, it has to do. So what does it tell us? You may go for component replacement, right? You can fill up the air because machines, right? So what happens? It will reduce the downtime of your replacement, right? So this is what actually is a main project, and we are able to collect the data from the sensors. The data is there with us. We have stored in the database. The only thing is we are able to look on the dashboard about the number of machines, their condition, number of bottles got filled, Coca-Cola, with correct ml, right? The caps tightened, any leakage in the bottles, all this will be seen on your dashboard. This is actually the project done. So this is a flow. So how is the flow here now? Here we want people who are from electronics background, right? Here we are collecting the data, you have storing the data, you want people to retrieve the data, and everything is running behind, right? There should be some machine algorithm, so that this machine algorithm, right, whatever you are running on the system, from there this technician will receive the message, the alerts, and all these things. So it is able to predict, which is able to predict, this algorithm which is running on one single machine is going to predict, and when it is going to predict, right, the alert will be reaching the technician. So this prediction, who the people are writing very good algorithms are the data scientists here. So this is an end-to-end, right, project. What happens here? So it is not of a single person who is going to do the entire project, right? Various people are involved in this. Okay, so let me show you video, right? We have done a Paradise food court chatbot. Right? So what do you understand here? If you go to our 360 website, right? If you want to make an inquiry here, right? You can go for chat now. Right? It is saying hello. Right? Who referred us? Okay, let us say a friend referred. What you are currently studying? So I just say I'm studying. Great. Who is sending all these messages? So I provide some name, right? So it will ask my email ID. Okay. Right. It doesn't know it is whatever it you are receiving, right? It is asking some contact number. Right? So thanks for sharing your details. What type of program you want to looking for? You want a course certification program, workshops, or this? I want this. So what is happening? This is event-driven chat. Okay, this is event-driven chat. So whatever you are trying to get, receive the answers, right? It is a machine which is already being trained, right? That is already a machine which it is already trained. So these are predefined things which are already running here. So I want to go for data science. So it's asking which course you want, right? You want this or just you want to book an appointment. This is a chatbot, the same chatbot what you have seen just now. So have you got any idea about this? Let me tell you all about the data science, and then we'll look into more videos here. Right? So this is a data science certification program. People are beginners, you have advanced course, you have intermediate course, right? So mainly we deal with Python and R for our training program. So have you ever heard about big data? Have you people ever heard about big data? You can drop your answers in the chat if you're not willing to unmute yourself. Okay, very good. So what it is actually, see, whenever we are trying to collect the data, right? We need data. And what is this big data all about and why we are interested in this data these days? So if you see here, what is happening in 1 minute of our lifestyles? See here, 181, 372 tweets every 60 seconds, right? So many users, YouTube users, they watch video every minute, right? So what is happening here? You are able to, we have the data, we are able to know that there's a lot of data available, but how to use this data, right? How to use this data? Where should we use? What we can draw from it? Who has to tell us all these things, right? If you see, this is the data which is being generated within 1 minute of our 1 hour, right? So it's just like, Amazon 4,000 items are sold for every minute, right? So what is happening here? The amount of data being generated in 1 minute, in 60 seconds of your life, so much of data is getting generated, right? So if you see in YouTube, right? If one of our friends, suppose, assume that your friend is an employee and your job or your friend's job is to check the videos that are getting uploaded and are properly channelized and are segregated into respective categories. Just assume, for instance, you are an employee working for, your friend is working for 8 hours on daily basis, and he has got how much of data? See here, these are people being watched who are watching the videos, but there are people who are uploading their videos also, right? You have to segregate and make sure that the videos are uploaded into right category, right? So 60 seconds, if you have 500 hours of videos, just a minute. Right, we have 500 hours of videos. What is the amount of data you have to analyze? It's not humanly possible to check whether the work is done correctly or not also. Here comes machine learning into picture. Here comes the machine learning into picture. You are going to train the algorithm through various videos and identify and put that particular video into right category. Now you are taking computation capability of a machine. To do your task, first what we have to do, you have to train the machine. It does not know what is a video, right? It does not know anything. It does not know what is animated. It does not know what is entertainment, right? So what you have to do, you have to train them. And that concept of training, how we train kids to speak, by we keep on saying it's something, so they try to say the same thing, right? The same thing, we do it with a machine also. As humans are trained enough from our past experiences, so look at and define which video and where it has to be classified. But for a non-living thing, we need, right, to make it understand. So we need to train them. So there comes this machine learning concept. Just like your driverless cars, an automatic car, how is it doing? What if there is a kid in front of a vehicle? It should be fed with intelligence. It should understand whether the person in front of it or about 15 meters away or 20 meters away is a person or the object or a person, is a tree or what. So we have to program in such a way that we have to try to divert. If it is human, 95% chance should be there that it has to go and take a diversion. Suppose if it is a human, we have to make it learn that you should at least take a diversion, hit a tree, but never hit that particular person, human. So what we have to do, you should not crash it, not hit it. So this kind of training should be given to the car by writing the algorithm. So this is image identifying and taking the action, right? If you see here, right, see here, so much of data, and on the top of this, Google is processing so much of data, right? Earlier it was petabytes, maybe it will cross that limit. When we were having earlier, when we are doing our graduation, we were having floppy drives. Have you ever seen floppy drives? You people? Floppy drive idea, not CD or DVD, floppies. Right? Those floppy drives capacity to store the data, it's 1.44 MB. Right? At that time, we didn't find anything to load. It was very huge space for me. I used to only do my project document to just show it to my sirs. Right? So we were handling how much of data right now? Right? There's a comparison. So now we have Google accounts, we have hard disk. We are still struggling to remove some content from our drives. Earlier, which was 1.44 MB, was very huge. Now, if we have so much terabytes of space also, and no terabytes of data is there with us, but then we have no space to store them. So, what do you think? The importance of data, right? The importance of data is coming into picture. Very soon we'll be going to zettabytes also. So we need professionals now to analyze this data, right? If at all you're working on a small grocery store and you have only 10 MB of data being generated and you are daily looking into the records manually, you understand many things. It's like a multi-chain supermarket owner. What happens? The amount of data generated by all the supermarkets in one particular state, the amount of being generated will increase from 10 MB to some GB data. So what we can do, if you analyze the purchases, right? If you analyze the purchases, the behavior of the customers, what you can do? You can predict what is the demand, what kind of products are being purchased, right? We need to prepare for future also. So that what stock should be there, all these things. So what is the price given by the competitors for a specific product? So competitor analysis is to be done. So machine learning concepts, right, where the analyzing things makes a lot of difference for our businesses. To analyze the data, we need analytics. This is all about data analytics. If you see this one most famous Alibaba, right? We are not here to talk about China here, but it's a very good example. Actually, they started this in 2016. Like Amazon in India, they have Alibaba there. So they run a promotional event in China to celebrate Singles Day. It's just like, you know, they're opposing the Western culture of Valentine's Day. So what did they do is, anyone who is single, they feel that they are the most happiest persons. So those people, when they launched this event, around, I think it's 16 or 15, I don't remember, they made 14.3 billion in one single day. So their target is, they have reached, they targeted around 39, they have reached to 38.4 in 2019. What do you think? What will be the strategy they are being done? Right? They are planning so that they are increasing their sales, their target, they are reaching their target from 14.3 billion on 2016 to 38.4 billion 2019. In a single day, on, it's just for a single day I'm talking about. The point here is, what I want to bring to you people is, what are these doing to increase their sales? A single answer: analyzing things. They are performing analytics on the data. They're understanding the pattern of their customers. They're looking into the historical data. They're gathering the information. Who are the customers who visited their website, who did not purchase on that particular day? What could be the reason? If you could understand, for instance, 1,000 people are logging in and they are not purchasing, we are trying to understand the characteristics of a customer and we are addressing that issue that is being targeted here, right? So what actually is that we can understand a lot of concerns, what customers are doing, what is actually happening, why the sales are not happening. All these things can be analyzed if you have the data being collected. That's why they're calling it as, you know, data is the new oil. It's just like, you know, if nowadays people stopped using lipstick, if you observe television ads right now, as a data scientist, tell me what ads you are able to see. Like, just like if you're all, you are just watching one movie and in between the ads are scrolling, right? So what are the very famous things in COVID scenario? What are the things you are able to observe on that television? Which ads are being telecasted more? Tell me. Think. Have you, because we are at home and we are watching television and we are enjoying, right? Well, we got a lot of time here. Tell me. Think. What are the things which are being telecasted more? You have the habit of watching television? All of them. Abhinav, Vaibhav, Deepika Tyagi, Rehman Sheikh. Who else are there for us here? Yamaleshwari, Rishi Sharma. What are the ads? Tell me. Are you seeing lipstick ads or Savlon hand wash, sanitizers? What ads you are seeing? Guys, am I audible? Hand wash, right? Very good. Others, we are seeing all kind of what we say. People are talking about all the Savlon is giving for hand wash, Dettol hand wash, right? About safe, be home, stay at home, wash your hands, all these things. But yeah, but you know, think about it. Earlier, when you were normal, when it was not COVID-19, what happened is that people, they were, it was like universal, right? It was not, it was targeting all kinds of people over. But when this happened, when COVID started and now again they're resuming their work, everyone, after the lockdown period and all that, What I observed from my end is it we are strictly we have rules that we have to wear a mask for our safety purpose. So I'm not able to find a single lipstick ad on the TV. Right? Are we able to see? I didn't. They are targeting now eyeshadows, mascaras, eyeliners. Right? Did you see that? Once in every for any of the movie, these are the things which are being repeated rather than lipsticks. What do you understand from this? People are because they're anyway wearing the mask, they are not feeling, maybe they have observed that people will don't, like girls don't usually like to put on that lipstick. Maybe they are targeting on eyes. Understood? Right? So, am I correct? Did you people observe? This is what is happening here with respect to data scientists. Right? They are trying to target the customers in this way. Right? They are trying to target customers in this way. You have to think, if normally a product lipstick is targeting, usually it is like 21 to 35-year females, right? And it becomes a core audience. But if I would launch an ad only specific to concern things, we have to channelize the efforts, the analytics have to be done, right? So all these things led to the revolution of data science, right? So this is how it is working. Okay, 1 minute. Yeah. So now what is this? These are the buzzwords we are hearing these days, right? Artificial intelligence, right? Then we have data science. Then we have data mining. Then we have machine learning. Then comes the deep learning. So these are the words which are always revolving around our minds, right? So what are these actually? So what you are doing here is, whenever you are trying to target, right? Machine learning, data mining, data science, artificial intelligence, all are combo. Right? It is a combination here. So whenever we are trying to target one particular thing, if we are doing, anyone is trying to do a IoT related project, suppose, just assume, if you are trying to do an IoT related project, what happens? It is not related to data science. Of course it is related, because it is an end-to-end IoT project, holds senior data scientists, you have junior data scientists under them, you want electronics people, you want cloud computing people, you want people who write very good algorithms, right? Where all these are involved in one particular project. In a similar way, this is also, when you talk about this flow, you can imbibe intelligence into your system. When you're trying to imbibe this intelligence into your system, that is artificial intelligence. When it comes to data science, it is a subset of AI. Right? People who do research, right, are scientists. And the people who are doing research and drawing some insights from the data are data scientists. Like, what is now data mining? Mine. Earlier, like, we used to study in our social studies, and somewhere around, like, we did coal mining. We dig coal, and if you're lucky enough, you might find some precious stones with respect to it, right? So you dig data and you try to get interesting insights as precious as diamonds here. And whatever insights you're trying to draw, that will give you a very big value to our businesses. So through the training, you will understand what insights you can draw, what amazing things you can solve, what things are required for solving any business problem. And let's come to machine learning. It's a building prediction models. You're building prediction. I told you, no, the machine will go down. Sound sensor will say that the bearings are not working properly. They have lost that the width of the bearings. If you see, if they come down, the sound will change. Even if you observe the door hinges, right, we hear some sort of noise. So if you put some oil into it, what happens? They work properly, right? So we are putting one sensor so that it will give us some data, and you're working on that data, and you're making that machine learn on that data. So if you have put some threshold value and you say that this threshold value, if it is crossing, just now I'll just give you an example also. If it is crossing that threshold value, what you do here, it assumes that it is risk now to run the machine in the normal mode. So it has to take some action. That is that we are making that machine learn is here. That is a concept coming with inside the data mining. Now, what is this deep learning? So deep learning algorithms are nothing but they're black box techniques, and they use it for all AI applications, right? They are used it for AI applications. So whenever we are trying to deep dive into the data, and there are few things which can't be solved by normal machine algorithms, we need to resort ourselves to deep learning algorithms, right? I think now you people got a clear idea of this circles. Now, what are the opportunities here? See, this is the sexiest job of 21st century. This was said long back, right? We are entering into recession, and we will definitely, so many people are already working or also into the learning new courses, because we have to upgrade ourselves, right? So it's just like we have to learn something and be in the race. I just always say that when we were not like earlier, few years back, SAP was in demand. But the people, once they got to know that it is in demand, then they started learning. They're still struggling. But before it just took the peak, right? Who have learned SAP, they are ruling right now. They have ruled from these days. But once we become a very good data scientist, we can definitely have a very good bright future here. So if we talk about like towards data science, see the rise 133 zettabytes by 2025 from 33 zettabytes in 2019 towards data science. So what is required? Data is being generated means we have to analyze the data and you have to solve the problem, and it will only increase the tech target. And also the shortage of data scientists in US. It's from canadaupdates.com. Right? This is from LinkedIn. It will be huge demand across the industries. Right? So jobs are there, but we want people who will do all these things. So the hunt for unicorn data scientists lifts salaries for all data analytic professionals here. Demand and salaries for data scientists continue to climb. Why are those so expensive to hire? Right? Why are they so expensive? See, usually when we talk about or think of the salaries as concerned, the freshers who are freshers, they can draw from 4.5 to 12. Who have experience, they move on to 1 year experience. They can have around, I think it should be not 1, it can be 3 years, right? 3 to 4 years or 5 years. You can have from 12.5 to 15 lakhs. Right? Hope you people all are freshers here. Right? Anyone who are already working? All are freshers or the students? Abhinav. Okay, Abhinav, Vaibhav, Maleshwari, Prateek, okay, Rishi Sharma, all our students, very good. Oh, very good, very good. So what it is, what my suggestion would be like, research is saying that it's not demand in it, it is across the industries, we have the demand. So people usually ask us why these freshers are, why the freshers have any opportunity or this. Definitely freshers have an opportunity. Why do you think? Because companies are following some strategies. Companies are following some strategy. What strategy they are following means, I'll just give an example here for you people to understand. See, when a normal AC is into the market, let it be from Panasonic or it is from LG or anything, right? It is there. So these are they are good in giving the products. Right? We have LG washing machines, LG, many things, many products are into the market. So what happens is that this LG, they want smart AC. What do you mean by something smart? Self automation. It should be automated, right? It should be automated, right? Self automated. It is just like it has to sense the body temperature. It has to switch on itself when room gets cool to some threshold level. It has to come down its number. Earlier it is 18, it has to move to 23 at this particular time, checking the temperature outside and inside of the room, our body temperature, right? All these things are done. So if at all they want to prepare the total project of the smart AC, they're trying to come in, this should come into the market. So what all are required? As I told you, we want the product. So the product is done by electronics people. All the data should be stored, and you need one communication device, right? From your mobile or something, you have to operate it, right? So you want a device, some communication protocol is required, and you want a cloud platform to store your data, which is given by your sensors connected in the electronics product. So they have to hire these people who are expertised in this, who are expertised in communication protocol, who are expertised in cloud computing, isn't it? Yes. So what the strategy is being followed by the many of the organizations here is they are joining hands by themselves. So LG is very good in electronics, or Samsung or Panasonic. This and this cloud, you can go for IBM. So any of the mobile communication, like you have Airtel or you have any mobile device, any network, these three will join hands now. So these will only go in hiring the people who are good in this. These only will work with IBM. These will only hire the people who are good in this. All these will join hands and smart AC is in the market. Are you understanding the concept here? Right? So what happens here? These are the things which are happening, and this is happening in the real time right now. Because if only a smart AC is required, you want these people, these people, these people. So you want data scientists, and to hire a data scientist, only one person can't work on it, because there are many modules are there to work on it. Many things are there. So they have to hire data scientists. So what other strategy they do is they hire one chief data scientist, and they take the data scientists who are freshers, who have 1 year experience, have good sound knowledge, or good programming skills, right? They are hired and they are put under this particular person. Automatically what happens? The same thing, right? Good. They are trying to save and they are trying to increase their profits. This is how it is happening right now. Right? So to get one smart device into the market, this is very costly offense. So what they do nicely, they're joining hands, and people are they are taking us from the same amount, but what is happening is that they are nicely getting profits. right? Now, so we are going to learn here how many? See, R is a R and Python are the programming languages what we are going to learn, right? In 16, it was 49% R tool. So 17 is overtaken by Python, 18 is Python. Now with the 19 also it's Python. So both are open source, right? R has come before Python. It was a statistical tool actually. But Python, instead of saying a programming language, it is a tool and it has got many things inbuilt. Many machine learning algorithms are available as packages in Python, right? So now through our training, you will understand what is scikit-learn, what is Keras, what is depending upon how you got enrolled, right? Python, R, right? So few of the things are also involved. What is TensorFlow? What is Keras? What is scikit-learn? So why we are interested in Python is that Python has got 26,000 inbuilt packages. Or what we need to do is what package is used for what purpose is what you should understand. Use that, take it, and understand that is the only thing you have to do. If you're not from the programming background also, right? It's just like you have to retrieve and use it, because all the Python programming language, which has got so many modules, everything is user defined, right? So non-programming background also it is easy for you, right? So whatever things we have learned, right, however we speak, right, the same thing we use in our programming language also. If you want to find out the maximum value, minimum value, you want to find out the average, you have those functions already available in this particular tools. So this overall agenda for total data science course here. So this is there for you people, CRISP DM, where you have inferential statistics, sampling techniques, you learn about descriptive analytics, central limit theorem, and confidence interval. So few of the machine learning algorithms which are added to you people, few are unsupervised. So you have machine learning, two things. Data mining has two parts. One is supervised and you have unsupervised. And in data mining, in unsupervised, what you want to do with the text data. Text data means Amazon reviews, Twitters, right? Data which is being collected from a speech of a person. You are doing mining on the text data also. That comes under this. It's just like you are doing sentiment analysis on your data. What do you mean by sentiment analysis? If you want to understand what is the sentiment involved in one particular product, right? What is the sentiment involved? It's just like, you want to have an information, like just now recently we understood that Maggi is a product, right? And what we have to do is that we have to understand what people are thinking once it has come back again into the market. Are they buying, or what is they're willing to purchase, or they want to do some sort of changes in the content, right? So how do you understand the sentiment of a product? Right? Whenever we talk about noodles, first thing Maggi comes into picture. It was the earlier thing. Now you have many other things coming into the market, right? So competitors are there, but still we want to know the sentiment of the customers here. Nowhere now Maggi is in the top list. Earlier he was on the top. So what could be the trend of that particular product? It could be a product, it could be a service, it could be a person. We do text mining, you understand it, and we should learn this under textual analysis. Usually you learn this, right? And lastly, it is forecasting, right? How you forecast weather, you have to forecast what is going to happen next, like how many COVID cases. We have done one, we have analyzed that July 31st, the cases will go to the peak, and in August they come down, right? So these are the things usually we are involved to, and we have these accreditations with City and Guilds, UTM, University Technology of Malaysia, IBM, and Panasonic here, right? So it's like we even launched some full stack data science program also in collaboration with the university. Here, City and Guilds, if you have heard, is a UK based establishment where you have 150 of years of history here, and this was backed by the Queen of England. It's very prestigious enough that people who don't do graduation, they do some program related to the to some software or something, and they get accreditation from the City and Guilds, and they become job employable, right? It is one of the top 5 universities is UTM, right? And you know about the Panasonic, right? Panasonic is not only into a few things, it's like it has entered into the products, and also it is entered into many other things also, right? So what you have to do to be a successful data scientist, when I complete the topic in the classroom, you have to do the corresponding assignments which will be given to you as an access to the LMS, right? As I say that we are from 360 TMG here, right? We don't only stand for providing total this thing 360 services to our students, and we want to help our students to get very good experience out of this course, right? So earlier usually you give like this certificate will strengthen your profile, right? So as I'm a part of Innodata team, which is an analytics firm globally headquartered in USA, right? So we as I told you, you have to get good sound knowledge, and you want to complete one successful project. It means that you have to do everyday assignments here, right? That is a major thing you have to do. That is apart from your end, right? It's just not like I give an example that people usually ask me whenever I say about something about data science, oh no, what it is, everything is available in YouTube and we do all these things here, right? It's not the matter here. If we say that yes, everything is available here and there on the YouTube, I just want to ask you one question. You in their lockdown, you have watched many movies, right? You have watched, and even you want to learn swimming, and what did you do? You even watched how to swim in YouTube. You have just googled and you have just sent the YouTube that okay, I have gone through the swimming videos. So many swimming videos are done. Now after the lockdown, what happens? Tell me, you practice? No, only seeing YouTube, Google. You have seen. If you get into the river after your course is completed of watching these YouTube videos, you get drowned. Simple, right? There should be some career ending move. That is nothing but the career ending move. So you need to practice, practice, practice. Watch the videos again and again. This is my suggestion, and I give it for everyone, not only for people, right? Listen to the videos, the recorded videos which will be given access to you, right? Daily topic is completed, complete your assignment, submit it. You get feedback, comments on that, right? If you're not doing properly, you have to resubmit them again. You will get gradings for that, right? So once that is done, you get the feedbacks and you complete your assignments, then you will receive the project link to get into the project. Because if you do assignments here on every topic, then only you'll get sound knowledge. It's just not like watching my videos and sitting idle, listening to the class and sitting idle. This is not encouraged. I'm seriously saying this. Right? Next phase is that you work on a live project, right? And once you work on the live project, the project list also is there, right? This is what we are trying to do from our end. So you should be, anyway, it will be regular sessions, right? But what things you have to do from your end is that you have to listen to the session, do the assignments, complete it within 2 days of my topic is done. Right? People, we have an assignments team here. They assess the assignments, they give you the feedbacks, right? Based on the feedback, you'll understand where you are actually. You're getting my point here? Right? This will give you an edge here, right? So that you'll understand what is a approach, how is your analysis, what wrong you are doing, where you are going wrong, right? You will have an idea there. One minute. Okay. Oh, I'm unable to find my pen. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. Got the point? Did you understand? So this is our experience panel, and these people are going to guide you in your projects. Right? Whatever I've explained you just now, they are things you can you can listen to the access to the LMS. Right? This is all not for you people. So these are social media partners. Right? So these are our accolades, accreditations and partners here. Right? These are the associations, members and associates. Recently we have done many training programs for FICCI and CII. And these are the colleges and the corporates we have trained till now. Right? Now let us go to the projects here. Right? Recently we are at this point. This is called as behavior analytics, right? By seeing the features of our face, right, we will understand whether the face is like dull, or it is neutral, it is laughing, or what it is, right? Just watch it. Right. So just now I told you we have done a project for Coca-Cola, right? This is the one. So we're able to track this, and they have to show it on the dashboard. Then only our lockdown has started here. Right, and we have our own robo, Winnie. It's taking. right? So such projects we already were involved with. I think I just want to tell you, right? Whenever you are trying to understand about the data science, right? It's just like you have to understand the concepts in a better way, right? So everywhere data, 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 and I'm saying that data is a new oil. Let me give you a single example where you understand everything. Suppose you are the owner of a smartwatch. We can take a couple of examples here, but I want to give you the smartwatch. Right, the smartwatch is capturing data of an individual. So what are the things it will capture? Tell me. What things it captures? A smartwatch. See, number of steps you have covered, activity tracker, very good. Steps, calories burnt, how many minutes ago you had a walk, are you feeling sleepy, your heart rate, your blood pressure. All this data is being captured. Very good. So what if you are the owner of that particular, yeah, very good, Vaibhav. So what will you do if you are the owner of the watch? All this data is getting tracked. Right? The question is, if you are the owner of the product and you have a lot of data of many people, right? Various customers data is available to you. Now tell me how to monetize the data. What ideas do you have here to monetize it? Tell me. What will you do if you are the owner of the product? So you will sell the data. You can do research on the data, right? You're estimating, you're predicting. Once you have the data, you can do predictions. Upfront, you do, if you build one machine learning algorithm onto the data, and you'll understand whether the customer's behavior is understood. You give it to the information to your customers, right, about the heartbeat, and you say that maybe because of your heartbeats what being captured every day, you may prone to one of the disease after 3 years of time. Right, you are able to predict that. If you sell this information to hospitals, they'll jump with joy because that hospital will deal with heart related stuff, because you are giving up the information to monetize your ideas. The same information, if you can sell to the insurance firms, right? I can sell the same information to insurance firms. i'm not I'm not at all a person who does exercise. I'm just, but I am, phobia is there that I wear a smartwatch as if I'm very fitness freak here. So this data is captured, and when I want to renew my insurance, definitely my insurance premium will increase. Why? Because an insurance firm know that I'm a risky person for their businesses, because I'm prone to many diseases, because I sit, I eat, that is being tracked by my watch. No exercise, I am very lazy, no perfect work after my lunch, right? But if I'm very good and my everything is being tracked by my smartwatch, definitely I would, if I just go for an insurance firm, maybe the premium might come down. This is something we see in our daily basis these days, right? So these kind of ideas, what we are going, these applications are already running. There is nothing new here. Business is going to revolutionize the traditional regular businesses. You are going to have very competitive edge, right? The data can help you to achieve everything. Let it be a grocery store, let it be a transaction, let it be a smartwatch, let it be any smart IoT device. Just a single purchase is being tracked. You are being tracked everywhere from Google. How much you are buying, what you are buying, where you are buying, what range of products you are buying. All this information, they are segregating the customers into multiple chunks of fruits, right? They're trying to track the purchasing behavior of all the customers. So what kind of data is being generated is not important. How you are utilizing the data is important. Like now you have data from the sensors, you have data from stock markets, you have data from watches. Everywhere data is being generated. You have many tweets are coming, you have Amazon reviews, right? So much of data is there here, but what to do with the data? You have to improve our businesses. At the end of the day, what we are doing, everything is only for profits. It's not just sticking to data science. It might be like, you can have an overview of everything here. It's a combi, right? So this is all about our data science, where we talk about data and we say that data is called the new oil and oil is very precious because the data is ruling here, right? Got the point? So here, I think by now you should have a clarity on what we are doing. Yeah, please respond. Understood now what we are going to study? I need a quick yes from everyone. Okay, thank you. So how many are enrolled for this? Beginners? Okay, put it as BEG. Okay, Abhinav, Rishi and Abhinav, Rishi, Pratik, Rahman. Oh, all are beginners. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let us go into details of the projects. How we are going to deal with. So this is a curriculum for you people. CRISP DM, statistical analysis. So whatever basic stats, this first stage of key modules, what you're going here, this is the project, what things you have to do for a project starting to ending. What's the process being followed? That is taught in CRISP DM. Then you have the basic stats in the statistical analysis, your 8th, 9th and 10th math. Okay, you have your 8th, 9th and 10th math here. Basic math, how do you find mean, how do you find median, how do you find an interval, what are the basics of all these things. Then you enter into machine learning. So in machine learning, I told you, you have two things, right? I keep on saying this again and again. You don't worry, you'll understand it. This is supervised and unsupervised. Right? In the supervised, you have this something called like regression analysis. In supervised, you have KNN. You have this, you have this, you have this, you have this. You're not entering into this. This is something where, I'll explain you once I start this topic. What's the difference between those two? Okay. Now, so projects here. Student and teachers performance prediction. So you are doing data mining to apply these techniques to identify the hidden knowledge and patterns about their performance. Right? What is that actually? See, we are already partners with Panasonic and all the use cases of Panasonic are a part of our curriculum, right? So I also know that Panasonic is into healthcare also. We have many things, just like as I gave you an example of AC, right? So Panasonic innovation sector will help us to get like all the technical part. Like that, what we have to do is there should be amazing use cases, right? Because it is a technical partner for us, right? So when you go for this, what do you understand by students and teachers performance? Educational data mining aims to apply mining techniques to identify hidden knowledge and patterns about the students and teachers performance. So you are able to predict teachers performance and students performance. How do you do that? How many people attended? What are the marks scored? What is his attendance rate? Right? What is the grade given by the teacher? Is the teacher regular to the class? How is she evaluating the students? All this data is available to you, right? So on that you are performing analysis and you are able to predict that if a student is doing like this, the teacher's reaction, right? That is how it works, right? Understood? What is HR analytics here? See, whenever you are trying to hire a new employee, right? So what are the, if you have to face a lot of challenges if you are hiring a new person, new employee into your office. Why? Because whenever you are trying to hire a new employee, the things go very weird. Why? Because first thing is that he's new and the salary package whatever he's been given is more than the previous employees. To adjust in the company, in the office, it will take 2 months. To understand what is a project, what is the scenario, it will take 2 months, right? At the end of the day, what happens, right? The project time, the client has given some time, right? That is ended. So what if you able to predict if a person is about to leave, right? You try to predict a person will leave the office. He's trying to resign, like he's willing to resign. If you're able to predict it, what happens? These all are advantages for us. If you give him a 5,000 hike of what he is being paid, right? All these are saved. So getting new customers is very, very risky process, right? Let about employee churn rate, or it can be a customer churn rate. People who are moving from Airtel to Jio, how many of them have gone when Jio has been entered into this? Right? Everyone, they were coming with different strategies so that they can stop them from churning. The churn rate, people who are moving away from this, they have to be stopped. You have to focus on that rather than involving or leaving him and going to a new person. So cost to the company in hiring and training a new employee is very high. So it is very much easy for us to retain an existing employee. So what does the HR analytics will do? They try to identify the reasons for iterations in the organizations. Right? What factors are influencing him to resign should be understood. And then what happens? It's like, it's very fruitful, right? Rather than he leaving the office and new person coming in, this is only more fruitful. The next thing, right? Number of laptops. Recently, we have done a project for the to understand whether the laptop functionality will work fine for how many years, because they want to go give insurance while customers are purchasing laptops. So when they were trying to purchase this, what did they do? We can't give them lifetime insurance, right? Your laptop may go into dumb. We will just give you the insurance will, or you can claim the insurance, or you can give warranty to it. We can't provide like that, right? So this laptops, right, they come with limited warranties. So what we have to do, we have to build a model so that we can predict what will be the average life of the battery, so that we can give to the customer when he's purchasing a laptop, right? So that he can provide perfect warranty to the customer, so that he'll not go into losses and he'll be there happily. Understood? So if you know whether, same thing like how many times you are able to uh, give him, right, the warranty time, how many times also, and what is the time period also. If you are able to know the perfect functionality of the laptop, right, then definitely will not go into loss, right? So what kind of short duration? They do not cover battery's life, right? So can you give it to the battery, or can you give it to the motherboard? Can you give it to the keys, right? All these things. So laptops come with limited warranties, so that you have to predict. Okay, let's not get into everything. Yeah. So chemical plants are very hazardous for staff, especially very harmful chemicals leakage occurs. So as I told you, IoT sensors, right? So these sensors will monitor various levels of chemicals in the plant. So what we have done, a recent project in collaboration with Malaysia candidates, Malaysia participants also, we have designed a helmet, smart helmet, and we have connected various sensors, and the sensors, if you put on the helmet, few sensors are there at the neck and on the top of the head, right? They were tracking the heartbeat, the temperature of the body temperature, and anything like some gas sensors we have placed to that particular helmet, and we have designed it for a construction field, right? We have tracked it using RFID tags, right? So what did we do is we build a classification model. So we were saying that person is healthy, person is not healthy, he's working or he's not working. Perfect capture of the person's health condition, or whether he's sitting idle, or what is being tracked with that particular helmet. Right? You are able to classify he's sitting idle or his health condition is not good, because based on the temperature of the body, based on his heartbeat, right? When the construction film is when they're climbing the steps, and also we have the data collected when we, like historical data we have collected with RFID tags and the age of the person, right? So what we do is the same thing here. Using IoT sensors, we monitor the level of various chemicals in the plant. The threshold point, if it is crosses, it becomes hazardous. It is very much not safe. So what we have to do, we have to build a classification model to classify the conditions of a plant. Is it safe or not safe, using the historical conditions, right? So you have to predict the virtual machines being created, right? So resource utilization is an essential requirement for the IT team. The virtual machines, what you're talking here, right? You're identifying the requirements and streamlining the resource allocation to all the teams, so that the continuity of the projects will be there. So how many is just like, if you say that, okay, let the project come, then I'll hire the people. No, that is also not thing. Similarly, you are predicting the virtual machines here for various teams and departments would help the IT team to plan. So you have to predict how many are required for that particular project, when it is going to continue, when it is it continue for how many days it will last long, and all these things will be captured and you're able to predict it. That is a project here. So on time here, graduation and student employability. How many people may get employed after their graduation? Are they getting any insurance or not? You are applying some mining techniques, right, related to the data to identify the patterns about the student performance. Is he willing to do the job? How he is answering to the interviews? How is his resume? Right? He will be employable or not after the graduation will be tracked using machine learning algorithms. You have online cab requests, right? Predict the number of cab service requests. Here, this is like smart farming, I can say. Crop yield prediction model is for like smart farming, right? Where you have moist sensors, soil sensors. You can say you can just say that the plant growth is not proper, right? So all this data is being stored, collected from the sensors, stored in the cloud with protocols, central repository system. So the information about a proper functionality of any machine uh, or any plant or any crop, the height levels, right? Is the watering required for the plant, right? Is the plant, the leaf is healthy or not, right? All these things. However, the climate, although the soil inside the roots is already moist, so no need to water. If you water more, what happens? That growth, what we say, the plant growth will stop if you water more also. It's dry, it gets dried up in and in. So the fertilizer is enough or not. All these sensors will help us. The data is stored in the central repository. From there, you are retrieving the data and you are functioning accordingly. That is crop yield production model. Right? This is something about the placement success rate on the training and exam scores. Right? Due to lockdown costs because of this COVID-19, everyone is restricted to stay home, right? What are the chances of student getting placed based on the online education is very, very important, right? Based on this, how many people are getting placed? What is the strategies involved here? That is about this. So let me know how many are there for intermediate. Only one intermediate. Anyone is there? Anyone is there for intermediate? Enroll for intermediate? No one? Okay. Advanced? Okay. All are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 members are beginners. Okay. Good. So any doubts till now, whatever I have taught about the projects list or any project I have to explain or anything? So the IPL match results predictions also. You can predict the performance of the teams by taking the earlier results, right? What is the performance earlier, which captivates the attention of millions across the globe is IPL, right? Thanks to COVID, we don't have anything right now. So one Rishi, let me check it with this. Rishi, Vaibhav, Pratik, Abhinav, and Sheikh. Here also all the 5 are there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, all are beginners only. Very good. Yeah, please tell me if you have any doubts. Did you understand what all we have discussed till now? So you are going to get certified by these 3. Anything you want to know from your end? Yes, you can unmute yourself and talk. You can put in the chat. No doubts, Pratik. Others? Okay, Rishi, no doubts. Shall we start today or shall we start tomorrow? The option is yours. We'll start it today. Okay. So I want to just give you an overview of this, what you are going to study, right? Here we are, right? So now you'll understand what would be Python programming for data science and machine learning. What would be R here, okay? And how do you do this using practical use cases? And you'll understand how to you handle these projects. So you have something like this. Let me show you. An access will be given to you like this. I'll show you the previous batch. Where is it? Yeah. Right, you will have your material here first. So after the session is done, you can go and do the quiz, right? And you'll have the assignments. Related material will be there here. So when you go to assignments, when you click on submit assignments, see here, you view, this is the questions. If I view all the submissions, these people already submitted. So I click here. Okay, let me click here. This will be the grade given. So what you have to do here is a format. You will have the option. I can't enable that because I am the mentor here. You have to upload your here. You'll get a grade and you get a feedback comments here. Right? Someone gave the feedback for this girl, Aditi. Right? You have the questions and these are the answers. These are the save changes. Right? You will have an attempt here. Right? This is how you have to submit your assignments after every topic. Right? These are the things what the same thing for you people also. Right? You have SVM, bagging, decision tree, all these things. For every topic, you have quiz, you have assignments. For you have two, right? If you have this only data, this has 4 problem statements. This has 2. This has 3. This has 2. This has 2. Right? You have the material related to it. The data set, the statement, and the question. Is it clear? Oh, why did I close it? Okay, let us start it because someone asked me to start. Yeah. Okay. First, let us understand here the stages of analytics. Right? Stages of analytics. What are the stages of this? So when you talk about the analytics here, right? You have 4 types of analytics you have to do for any data you collect. Right? First, it is descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. This is one by one. Like they should be in order. Right? It's just like whenever you are not well, you go to the hospital, you go to the clinic or a doctor, and what you do, you will tell him, you will describe him, right? You will tell all the things. Okay, see, I didn't do this well, my health is gone. Now if you take COVID, what you will tell? I have headache, I have fever, I lost my taste, all these things. Right? We give the information. Then why that happened, who is going to tell us? He will diagnose the information, and he'll tell you that the symptoms looks like you have this all the symptoms here are nothing but you have related to COVID, or you have fever, you have eaten some roadside pani puri, that's why your health is not good. He will diagnose and he'll tell you why that something happened. Then what he'll tell you, if you repeat this eating all the stuff, right, he'll predict saying that again next month you will fall ill. If you eat once or twice, right, you will fall ill. Definitely you will fall ill. So what actually it is now important for us to understand here is, we are trying to understand what all what is going to happen. That is nothing but you are doing prediction. Finally, what you do here, prescriptive analysis. What is to be done? You are predicting, but what has to be done if you fall ill? Right? What happened? Why something happened? What is likely to happen? And what is to be done? This is a stage by stage analytics. So what happened? I'll just give you one more example. If you are trying to, this is your home and you have a kitchen here. You have an IoT device here. You have attached so many sensors here. Right? So when you talk about all these things now, I have attached a gas sensor and I set it a level here, gas at my kitchen. So I think I forgot that number. It is 1414, I guess. If that number is crossed, this limit, it is dangerous. It is going, the situation is not in our hands. Okay. So what is happening now? When I take this particular something in our home went wrong, the levels are crossed. So descriptive is that what happened. Diagnostic is what, why it happened. So what happened? Gas leaked. Why it happened? Why something happened? Because you didn't turn off. What is likely to happen? It will burst out. What action should be taken? Send a message to related registered number. Is it clear? So if the threshold limit is gone, either you get a mail, either you get a message, right, saying that something is going wrong. Now I ask you people, where are we at this now in the present scenario? If you connect this to real time, are we able to do everything here? Did we enter into everything? All the analytics is done by the machine right now. Just like I gave you an example of AC here, right? Panasonic AC during summers, if you don't use in winters and you start using in summers, all the dust which gets accumulated, right, the cooling effect drops and it will start consuming more electricity. Eventually what happens? Your AC will break down. So what this Panasonic innovation sector does is that they place these IoT sensors, they capture the data and it will send to the technician, right, that the threshold level, it has crossed the threshold level, the information is sent to the technician. The technician who receives a message, proactive at least, he comes for the maintenance. Is it clear now? Now tell me at what point we are here, at what level we are here. See, one thing what I'll tell you is that, what from my end is that, if the action is taken, right, remember action is taken by the machine. If the action is taken by the machine only, then that stage is called as the fourth stage. Got it? If the action is taken by that, right? That you call it as what? Prescriptive analytics. Oh, sorry, my bad. Where are we here, right? It is called as prescriptive analytics. So we are able to know what is happening, why it happened, what is going to happen also, because it crosses a threshold. But what is to be done? It is total automative. Totally automative. Everything is automative. Your driverless cars, like you have drones with guns right now. Your robots who are doing all the regular works, sales work is done by robots. Right, nowadays, I think in Kerala or Karnataka, I don't remember, we have seen during COVID, right? All the regular checking of the BP, temperature, heart rate, it is all done by robots. That is nothing but what to be done. Self-automated things is prescriptive. Till now, we are able to predict what is happening. We are getting a message, we are giving a message to a technician, right? But a driverless car, what does it do? It will see a human and it will stop moving forward. If it is try, if a drone captures a figure, right, photo, and if it assumes that, okay, this person is not a normal person, I have to fire it. It is taking its own decisions. It seems drones are being used long back in Australia for first aid purpose. They were used for giving first aid because they have cameras where through the camera they are directly get in touch with the people around and giving first aid to the people to remote areas where they have no ambulances to go by. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? Is it clear? So predicting is good. Everything, all the machines are predicting very good. AC has to take its own action. Right? Some things may not happen totally, but these robots, drones, the connected cars, all things, if the action is taken automatically, what to be done, what is to be done is decided by the machine itself, then we'll enter into this. Till now, we are only in this stage. Got the point? We are able to do diagnosis what is happening, everything we are trying to do because we are making the machine learn. But what ultimately is important is that if the action has to be taken, what action to be taken? Yes? Got the point? Is it clear? A quick yes. Otherwise, I repeat. Okay. So, where are we right now? We are in the predictive. We are able to predict something. But we have to enter into prescriptive. Then what will happen? Tell me. Consequences. If we are able to do everything automated. Okay. Abhinav wants me to repeat. Okay, I'll repeat. So if everything prescriptive analytics, if we enter into this, what happens? Tell me. From your end, what do you think? What consequences we have to face? Just think. No, Abhinav, I repeat it. Yeah, I'll repeat it. Just I'm asking them. I'll repeat. We have time, right? I'll not enter into a new topic. I'll repeat it. Prescriptive. Think. What happens? We should fight with machine. There will be a war between machine and man. Yes or no? All our jobs are being done by the machine. Why people will hire us? Tell me. Yep, correct. Got my point? If we will have a war between with machine only we are fighting. Our jobs are at risk. Right? Now nurses are not required. Salespersons are, as of now only we don't need them, right? Nurses are not required. Salespeople are not required. We have robots coming up, artificial brains coming up. In near future, why we are required? So what we have to do? We have to upskill ourselves, because we are the people who need to build that brains, that artificial intelligence, the artificial brains, or the machines. Getting my point? So we have to be in the race. We have to upskill ourselves to do all these things, right? So let us do. I'll just explain this concept again, and I want to explain one more thing also, and I'll stop here because I have to start a new topic tomorrow. Now, descriptive. I mean, no, for you, descriptive analytics is what means what happened is what, right? You will understand. You will describe everything. See, you just now I gave you an example of a gas sensor, right? If you can take any scenario, you will say that the sales, say you will track the sales of your shop. Some retail store is there, you are the owner of the store, and you keep tracking. Morning 7 a.m. milk is sold at max. What is the maximum milk sold? How many packets are sold? At 9 a.m. noodles are sold out. So you are having the track of this. 10 noodle packets are sold. Yippee is sold, or Maggi is sold, or that what is called as Patanjali noodles are, or whatever. At 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. there are no sales only. What is all this? You are describing everything. You are doing analytics on this particular data. That is called as describe what happened total day. Why this happened? People are not coming in this time. That is, you are diagnosing why a patient is having cancer or not. No cancer patient or cancer patient. How you will diagnose it? You will take his tumor levels. You will take when what is his health condition? What is the tumor level at the last time this month? Right? What are things? You are diagnosing it. So why that happened? What happened? Why that happened? So if you will medicate him, and you will say him that if you are not taking these measures, you have eaten pani puri, I told you, no, now no one is eating roadside food or restaurants, Swiggy, all those things, right? What happens if you go with that? What is likely to happen? You are able to predict. But what is to be done is also known to you, right? If machine can take decision, I can say. If a machine can take decision like we humans, that is prescriptive analytics. Machine is able to predict that AC went wrong, gas is leaking at home, right? Soil moisture is down, it needs to be fertilized, the growth of the plant, it didn't reach to a particular level. All this information is given by the sensors. We are able to predict these stages. The machine is going down, right? All these is what is likely to happen. It will give you a message to the technician saying that, see, the machine will break down in 2 days. So what he'll do, he'll come, he'll repair the machine and go, so that the work will not stop. The wages of that particular total that wing, right? People, what service is happening, that will not stop, right? That type of predictions are happening here. But what is prescriptive analytics? The machine should take decision by itself. Like I gave you an example of drones. Like now you have connected cars, very few. Maybe by 2025, we have all 90% cars will be connected cars only. Right? You have robots. Right? So means machine only will take decision. All the regular activities are done by robots as of now, right? So now connected car means when we are not there in the car, and car will take a decision whether it has to go at what speed. We humans don't have that sense that it should not cross 60 kilometers per hour. But what does a connected car do? If it is going 60.2002 kilometers fast also, it will slow down itself. Like that the programming is done. It will get an alert and it will be displayed or an LCD display saying that yes, this should be stopped. I have to come down. My speed has crossed the limit. So that decision process should happen. Then everything gets automated. That is called as prescriptive stage. There are the 4 type of analytics, but the machine learning will stop at this point. When IoT and every other things, like all the this concept of AI, ML, they are not new. They are there from 1954. They have started working on this, but due to the compactness, due to the availability, cost, right? Earlier the computer size, now see the chip size. They were not available at this point of time. Maybe because of these reasons it went back. But these topics are not at all new. They are already there from years. It's only because that the size of the chips have come down, the microcontrollers, microprocessor which are available here, right? The storage capacity which became very free, all these are trending, and this made this two things into limelight. Getting my point? Right? That is what is the analytics stages. Got it? If you have any doubts, ask me. I'll just want to tell you about the daily assignments. Actually, today you don't have any assignment because I have just given you the demo here, right? So once you can contact your salesperson and take access. Actually, I don't have idea of all these things, right? But once the topic is done, I'll help you out how to start doing your assignments, right? As of now, I didn't complete this module, right? Tomorrow I'll complete this module. You can complete this quiz and the assignments tomorrow. I'm just searching for one thing which I could sort of explaining you people. Just give me a minute. I want to showcase something here. Okay, we don't have it as of now. Okay, no issues. Yeah. Anything else tomorrow? I'll show that. I'm not finding it. Anything from your end? Any doubts? Shall we do a recap? Oh, we didn't discuss anything much to do a recap here. If you have nothing to do, we'll stop it. We'll connect at 2 o'clock, right? Same time. So once I complete tomorrow the topic, I'll just ask you to do the assignments. Okay. Today you don't have assignments. You can take a leave today. Okay. Because I can't start the topic without explaining what we are going to learn, right? Now you understood what is data science and what you are going to do. May I know your profiles, please, your background? All are from which background? One by one can drop the message. Pratik is MCA. Okay. Oh, Abhinav BTech. Which branch? Which stream? Abhinav? IT. Rishi is from CSC. So you are good at programming, all MCA, IT, CSC. So I don't need to go in depth into programming. Right. Rishi, okay. Who else we missed? Rehman and Vaibhav. What backgrounds? Vaibhav is from? Oh, business economics. Okay. Rehman, you are from? Oh, very good. Final year BTech? First year BTech? One BTech you have written. All are completed the education, right? Or in the final years? Oh, Rehman is in first year. Good. Rishi, you have completed? Okay, Rishi completed. Abhinav is in third year. Others? Pratik, MCA? Oh, very good. Very good initiative, you people taking this. But I suggest you one thing is that if you don't do assignments, I'm going to bang you. But it will be the same like your college days. College thing. Don't go to college. Vaibhav is doing second year. Very good. Right? Because I will check every day. I'll track this. I have a tracking sheet. I'll track. Today morning only I give nice to other batch, recently completed batch. Okay, that is there. If you don't do your assignments, and every day I start with a quiz from the previous session, right? So you have to come prepared. And you have to work how many hours in a day to as complete your assignments? You have to work at least 2 to 3 hours to explore. I give you to explore topics also, new topics, which I don't teach wantedly. So a lot of homework for you from tomorrow. So today, have nice day, take rest, enjoy your Saturday. Okay. So anything from your end, guys? So at any point of time, if you're not understanding any concept, please tell me. Okay. So that I repeat again and again. Okay. Because the concept should be important rather than coding and all that. Okay. Is it clear to everyone? Yeah. So I'll stop here. We'll resume tomorrow, same time, 2 o'clock. Okay. So from tomorrow, be ready. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you all. Okay. Okay. Thank you all.